Tonight, you will close your eyes and travel somewhere that does not exist. You will speak to people who are not there. You will feel fear, or joy, or something stranger, and your body will respond as if every second of it is real. Then you will wake up and call it just a dream. But here is the thing. Your ancestors called it something else entirely. For most of human history, the dream was not dismissed. It was not a glitch in your brain's nightly maintenance cycle. It was a message, a visit, a door left slightly open between your world and another. And what they believed about that door, and what science has since discovered underneath it, is stranger than either story alone. So what did ancient humans actually dream about? And why does your sleeping brain, tens of thousands of years later, still seem to follow the same rules? The first thing to understand is that dreaming is not uniquely human. Your dog dreams. Your rat dreams. Research published by neuroscientist Matthew Wilson at MIT showed that rats replay the exact maze routes they ran during the day while they sleep, with their hippocampal neurons firing in the same sequence, at roughly the same speed. They are rehearsing, they are consolidating, they are doing, in miniature, what your brain does every single night. But humans added something no other animal seems to have added. They added meaning. The earliest written record of a dream interpretation comes from ancient Mesopotamia, roughly 4,000 years ago. The Assyrian Dream Book, a clay tablet collection, catalogued hundreds of dream scenarios and their supposed meanings. If you dreamed of flying, it meant a specific kind of fortune. If you dreamed of your teeth falling out, it signaled danger to a family member. Sound familiar? Those exact dream symbols still appear in modern internet dream dictionaries today. Your brain is running the same software it ran 4 millennia ago and producing the same strange output. But before the clay tablets, before written language, there were the caves. Archaeologist David Lewis Williams spent decades studying the rock art of southern Africa and the painted caves of Europe. His research points to something remarkable. Many of the images at sites like Lascaux in France, dating back 17,000 years, may not be simple hunting records or decorative art. Lewis Williams argues they are visual records of altered states of consciousness, of dreams, of visions, the half-human, half-animal figures, the spirals and geometric patterns, the sense of movement frozen in ochre and charcoal on stone. These may be the oldest dream journals ever made. Think about what that means. Your ancestor, wrapped in animal skin, crouching by firelight in a cave, saw something in the dark behind their closed eyes and crawled to the wall to record it before it faded. The same impulse that makes you reach for your phone to type a dream before it dissolves. Separated by 17,000 years. Connected by the same strange need to hold on to something your waking mind did not make. So what were they actually dreaming about? Probably the same things you dream about. Research by psychologist Calvin Hall, who spent decades collecting and analyzing over 50,000 dream reports, found that human dreams cluster around a surprisingly narrow range of themes regardless of culture. Being chased, falling, losing something, being unprepared, finding yourself in a place that feels familiar but is subtly wrong, encounters with the dead, flying, teeth. These are not random. Evolutionary psychologist Antti Revonsuo proposed what he called the threat simulation theory of dreaming. His argument is elegant and disturbing. The brain uses dreaming to rehearse threats. In the ancient environment, the threats were real and constant. Predators, enemy groups, starvation, injury. Your sleeping brain staged the danger over and over, letting you practice the fear response, the escape route, the decision under pressure, in a space where the stakes were temporarily zero. The nightmare was not a malfunction. It was training. Your ancient ancestor running from something in a dream was not being tormented. They were being prepared. And here is where it gets stranger. Because the things your ancestors feared and therefore dreamed about most are the things that survive in your dreams today, even though the original threats are mostly gone. You do not live in a world where a predator can take you in the night. But your brain has not received that memo. It still runs the same drills, still stages the chase, still puts you in a room where something is wrong, but you cannot name what. still wakes you at 3 a.m. with a heartbeat hammering in your chest for reasons that dissolve the moment you open your eyes. You are living proof that evolution moves slowly. But ancient humans did not only dream of threats, they also dreamed of the dead. Across virtually every culture ever studied, contact with deceased relatives in dreams is among the most commonly reported and most emotionally significant dream experiences. Anthropologist Lee Irwin, in his research on Plains Native American dream traditions, documented how visitation dreams from ancestors were treated not as psychological events, but as actual communication. The dream was not a memory of the dead. It was the dead, temporarily reachable. This is not unique to one culture. Ancient Egyptians believed the soul could travel during sleep and that deceased relatives could send messages through the dreaming mind. Ancient Greeks had entire temple complexes called dream incubation sites, where the sick would sleep on sacred ground, waiting for a healing god to appear in their dreams and reveal the cure. The Romans took dreams so seriously that military commanders sometimes delayed battles to wait for a favorable dream omen. What neuroscience now tells us is that this almost makes sense. When you dream of someone who has died, your brain is doing something genuinely unusual. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for reality testing, is partially offline during REM sleep. Your brain cannot fact-check. It cannot apply the knowledge that this person is gone. It runs its simulation of them at full fidelity, their voice, their mannerisms, their presence, and you experience them as real because your brain has no mechanism, in that moment, to say otherwise. So the grief you feel upon waking is not irrational. You were, in every neurological sense your sleeping brain understands, with them. And then you woke up and the prefrontal cortex came back online, and the loss happened again, fresh. Your ancestors called that experience a visit. Science calls it REM simulation without inhibitory oversight. Both are trying to describe the same moment of impossible contact. The ancient world was also obsessed with the prophetic dream, the idea that the sleeping mind could access information about the future. And this one is trickier because the research is strange. Psychologist Stanley Krippner spent years running controlled experiments at the Maimonides Medical Center in New York, attempting to test whether dreamers could receive information telepathically or precognitively. The results were inconclusive enough to keep the question open without being convincing enough to settle it. What the research did confirm is something more grounded. The sleeping brain, freed from the noise of waking sensory input, often processes patterns and information that the conscious mind missed or ignored. The solution to a problem that baffled you all day sometimes arrives fully formed after sleep, not because the dream told the future, but because it finished the calculation your waking brain did not have the quiet to complete. Chemist Auguste Kekule famously reported that he discovered the ring structure of benzene after dreaming of a snake eating its own tail. Paul McCartney woke one morning with the entire melody of Yesterday fully formed in his head, so complete he spent days assuming he must have heard it somewhere before. Your ancestors believed these moments were gifts from gods or ancestors or the spirit world. Modern neuroscience believes they are the product of the brain's default mode network, which runs complex associative processing during sleep that conscious thought actively suppresses. The gods and the neurons may simply be two names for the same strange fire. What strikes researchers like dream scientist Rosalind Cartwright is not how alien ancient dream beliefs were, but how structurally similar they are to what we now know. The ancients understood intuitively that dreams processed emotion, that they rehearsed fear, that they created contact with the dead, that they sometimes solved problems. They were wrong about the mechanism. The gods were not literally sending messages, but they were right about the function. And that function is still running in you tonight. When you close your eyes in a few hours, your brain will begin its ancient work. It will scan the day for unresolved threat. It will pull the faces of the people you have lost and render them in full, breathing, present. It will stage scenarios you did not choose. It will possibly, in the deep quiet of 4 a.m., hand you something it has been working on without telling you. Your ancestors painted what they saw on cave walls. They pressed it into clay. They built temples around it. They thought the gods were speaking. Maybe the gods were. Maybe they weren't. But something is definitely speaking. And it has been speaking to your kind every single night, without interruption, for as long as your kind has existed. Tonight, when you close your eyes, try to remember that. You are not just falling asleep. You are stepping into the oldest room your species has ever known.